Hey, Wonderhussy here. Just tooling around the Arizona backcountry, way down south of Tucson, near the Mexican border. And there's a lot of old mining activity down here. There's a lot of silver, gold, lead, and copper mines down in this part of the country. And, well, these various mines and mining towns had some pretty colorful histories. So my friend and I just rolled into a lonely little, place called Cerro, Colorado. I guess there was a mine called the Cerro, Colorado mine here. And I don't really think there's too much left as far as the mine goes, but there is a very interesting sarcophagus. Walk over and check it out. I got my Arizona rattlesnake-proof ghost town exploring boots on here today, just in case. But yeah, look at this. It says John Poston, 1830 to 1861. Murdered by Mexican banditos. Grave restored by W.E. Poston and E.B. Drake. Now that's a mighty substantial grave for this part of the country. You know what I mean? It's like concrete or cement. I mean, most of the graves down here look like, more like these graves over here, which are just piles of rocks. I'm assuming these are graves. I mean, they look sort of vaguely human-shaped, right? So I guess we're kind of in a little unofficial cemetery of sorts, you might call it. But the reason that dude Poston's grave is so substantial is I think he and his brother owned this mine. The Cerro, Colorado mine back in the 1850s, 60s. Apparently there's a mine shaft around here somewhere that you can still see. They were mining, I think they were mining silver. And they had a bunch of Native American, they called them Indians back in those days. They had a bunch of Indian and Mexican guys working the mine. And, unfortunately, there was a terrible cave-in in the mine. The mine caved in, and I think 15 Indians and Mexicans were killed, buried alive, and they were too far down to be rescued, so they died down there. Can you imagine any worse way to go than being buried alive in a collapsed mine? I really can't. Anyway, I guess they had a hard time convincing new Mexicans and Indians to go down and work that mine again because, they all thought it was haunted after that, and who can blame them? But apparently they did finally manage to convince some Mexicans to continue working the mine. And that's when things got really crazy. Man, just look at this friggin' landscape. It's just beautiful out here. I hiked up to the top of this little mound, and you can actually see that looks like it's probably some kind of mine tailings in the distance. So since I have my boots on anyways, might as well hike on over and check it out. By the way, these boots are not only rattlesnake proof, but they're also cactus proof. There's a lot of pokey, prickly plants down in this part of the country that'll do everything they can to ruin your day. Not today, cactus. I got my boots on. The cactus plants are tough on pants, deep in the heart of Arizona. That's why perhaps they all wear chaps, deep in the heart of Arizona. We're not even really in the heart. We're way, way, way down south, like I said. Anyway, enough silly singing. Let's get back to exploring this mine and telling the story of what happened. So anyways, they were continuing to work the mine, but I guess John Poston's brother, Charles Poston, he was the actual mine owner, mine boss. Well, he had to go out of state for some reason on business, and he left his brother John in charge of the mine. And I don't really know what the deal was, if the workers just respected him less or he was just kind of lax, but he had, a big problem with the Mexican miners stealing the silver that they were mining. And they would take it down to Sonora, Mexico, across the border. And I don't know if they were trying to help the Mexican revolutionary cause or what was going on, but they were just stealing silver like crazy. It got out of hand to the point where I guess the mine foreman was this guy named Juanito, and he made off with like $70,000 worth of silver bullion one night. I think that was $70,018 $60, $1861, you know what I mean? So it was a lot of silver. Anyway, John Poston wasn't about to let that slide, so somehow he tracked Juanito down and, executed him as a show of You know, here's what'll happen to you if you continue to steal silver from my mine. But apparently, Juanito had already hidden the silver somewhere, legend has it, in this area, somewhere near the mine. But no one knew where it was. After he died, the secret died with him. And I think many, many people have tried to find all that silver bullion over the years, and no one's ever found it. It's still around here somewhere. I guess in theory, buried somewhere in this area. Coming up on the mine tailings here, and there's another, well, there's another friendly little plant that wants to get to know us. Good luck with that, cactus. Anyway, let's see what's over here. Wow, this is a trip. It looks very soft and silty. I mean, I guess it's just filled in, whatever. But God, it's terrible to think we're probably walking on a grave. You know, those 15 miners were buried down here somewhere. Oh, wow, yeah, look how soft it is. It's real powdery. It's like walking on the beach. Weird. Anyway, I guess word got out that there was all this bullion hidden somewhere here on site. And some Mexican banditos, well, they either just wanted to try to find the silver or they were avenging the death of Juanito. And they killed poor John Poston. And that's how he came to end up in this lonely little sarcophagus in the middle of nowhere on the wild borderlands of Arizona and Mexico. Wow, look at this. This is really interesting. I'm going to turn my camera around so you can see better detail. Like, these formations are really interesting from this toxic slag or whatever it is we're walking on. I guess it's probably not toxic. I don't think they, you know, milled or refined anything here. They just dug it out of the ground. And you can see there are some, well, there's some wooden posts and some barbed wire and stuff. Just a few scattered remains of whatever they were doing here. See if we can find that mine shaft. I mean, as far as the buried silver bullion goes, I'm sure many, many, many have tried to find it over the years. And I don't think I'm any more qualified than anyone, so I'm not going to bother trying to dig for that today. I just kind of came to, well, pay my respects at the grave and poke around and, well, see if there was anything to see. Okay, my friend's over there in the distance, and he said he found some foundations to what looks like it was maybe some kind of mining activity, but I noticed, or he pointed out too, that these wooden posts are probably the remnants of a narrow gauge railway that was used to send the ore downhill to the wagons or whatever they did with it. That's kind of interesting. All right, let's go over there and see if we can see any of these foundations he's talking about. Okay, I just climbed down this pile of tailings or whatever it is, and, well, you know what? Maybe I was right. I was onto something, and it is toxic because this does look like they had some kind of mill here, and they were processing whatever they were mining, so, who knows? It was so long ago. I'm sure there's no poison left. Wow, look at this. It's a mill, all right. There's all the foundations of it, but that's about all that's left here. You know, nowadays, I don't know if we're on National Forest land. This is the Colorado National Forest. I know, it's weird. We're not in Colorado, but it's called the Colorado National Forest. It's either that or it might be BLM land. I don't think it's privately owned, because let me tell you something. A lot of the ghost towns in Arizona are on private property, and they let you know right away, private property, no trespassing. And I haven't seen any signs like that here, so I'm guessing this is some kind of public land. And it's beautiful country. I mean, it's all these mesquite trees. I think it's open range land. There's cows grazing. Just beautiful part of the country. Only downside is you're right by the Mexican border, so you got to go through a lot of border patrol checkpoints, and there's a lot of border patrol activity in this area. And there's also a lot of wildlife. Mountain lions. I was even reading where they spotted a Mexican wolf, or they heard a Mexican wolf howling, and they spotted a jaguar. I'm not kidding, a jaguar. A Mexican jaguar. I don't know if that's the same as a jaguar like you would see in the jungle, but yes, that was documented and spotted a little bit south of here. Oh gosh, not that long ago. Maybe 5-10 years ago. That jaguar did pass away, but hey, where there's one, there might be more, so. These boots are tough, but I don't think they're mountain lion or jaguar proof, and they're certainly not Mexican wolf proof, so I'm going to have to be vigilant and keep an eye on my surroundings down here, because it's not just the cactus that wants to kill you. It's just about everything. All right, I climbed all the way up top to the top of the mill site, and there's a little view looking down, down, down. And there's some like weird building in the distance. I don't know if that's somebody's house or what. But yep, here we are in old Cerro, Colorado. That's all that's left. My friend and I are actually on our way to another way more substantial ghost town south of here. So we kind of just stopped here because it was on the way, and you know, I knew that grave was here. So hey, it's worth a visit if you're down this part of the country. Stop in and, well, pay your respects to poor John Poston. And if you're feeling particularly lucky, bring your metal detector and look for the buried silver.